Hey guys, Ceci here. So here is the second part to the understanding what fear is video. If you haven't watched the first part, definitely go check it out so therefore you can understand what fear is, and therefore you can use video number 2 to be able to take the steps to be able to overcome fear. And of course, if you like my contents, please like, subscribe, follow me on social media, and of course I'll see you in the comments and in the next video. So in the last video, we talked about what fear actually is, the unconscious reactions we have to these fears, and then the fears that we've picked up along the way. And I left that video off on generalization. And generalizing means when we tend to categorize similar perceived dangers as one instead of discriminating against them. So an example, let's say that we failed what we've considered, let's just say, right? We've considered that we failed in the past through rejection, through embarrassment, and now we continue to connect that past experience with our present and future decisions for our lives. What happens is that the emotional response stays activated by keeping the memory alive of that past experience by us continuously repeating it mentally. And we do that to stay comfortable, to stay in our safe zone, and to try to avoid taking a risk again. Why does the mind do this? Well, we just feel that if we try again, there's just too much risk associated with it, too much pain, and we won't be able to handle it. So there's a few underlying beliefs to why we do this. And the first is because we're going into the unknown and we don't have certainty and we don't have all the answers today, it's just best not to try. That this goal, the responsibility is just too much to bear, that we somehow overestimate the outcome and we underestimate our coping abilities and our strengths to deal with the situation, that you might have an underlying belief that you're not worthy of having what you want, or that you won't be able to keep it, and that somehow other people are worthy but just not you. You tend to want to project the undesired outcome to the goal that you have by putting and focusing your insecurities onto it when it has nothing to do with it. Now, remember guys, these are universal beliefs and they're a way of thinking of staying in our comfort zone. Now, first we need to know that we're not supposed to get rid of fear. Fear is part of us as humans, and it protects us and it keeps us safe from real physical dangers. Now that we know all of that stuff, let's go look at the options that we have. A good place to start is seeing which fear is causing this emotional response and developing the emotional awareness that can help in how we respond to that emotion. The second one can be by practicing seeing things objectively with an optimistic attitude. This can reduce the stress hormones in your body, and you can step outside of the box to be able to see the outcome possibilities and how real of a threat this actually is. What other options do you have that you can restructure the perception that we've already created based on the fear itself? Figure out why you feel you don't have the self-assurance to be able to overcome these challenges. Whether you write it out, whether you face yourself in the mirror, is important to understand why. And then to build the confidence, you can start by practicing small goals that eventually will lead you to the big goal. And this one's going to expand you from your comfort zone. Now, part of balancing and understanding is to practice acceptance that fear is part of our human responses, but it's we who controls how we choose to react to those fears. Fear doesn't have to control our lives. It doesn't have to control the decisions that we make for our lives, our progress and growth. This is going to help you in reducing the resistance and facing our fears and the effect that they have on us. The fifth way is how we can restructure how we think and talk about fear. Since fear is usually based on things we don't want to happen, we unconsciously speak in ways that we don't want these things to happen. An example, I don't want to fail. I'm not an expert at this. I'm not the best at this. I don't know how to do this. Now, the body and the mind, the brain are gonna respond to this as that there's an actual threat, even though it's just your self-doubt. So by reorganizing how we talk about it, and it really can help. So instead of saying I don't want to fail, we can talk about I want to succeed, I want to become better at this, I want to become an expert at this. This one's going to help you in focusing on the how-tos. This one is going to be a big one, but it's a very important one, and it's going to be a sensitive one. So only if you feel you can do it, definitely do it. If you feel you can expose yourself to your fears by taking small but progressive steps to face the fear, you'll be able to do so many wonders, because you'll be desensitizing the emotional response to that fear, where eventually you'll no longer fear it. I've done this one myself on my own and with therapy, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me. Now, the last one, if you feel that you're not able to overcome your fears on your own, definitely seek out a mental health professional that's trained in CBT, that you feel understands you, so you can overcome these fears. I've done therapy in the past, and personally for me, it was one of the best self-care decisions that I could have made for myself and for those around me. Overall, as we release and the resistance to let go of our fears, we exchange space and freedom to engage in constant practice, to be able to focus on the steps that we need to take to be able to create the things that we would like to have in our lives. So definitely focus on internal control and not wanting to control the external or the outcome. Take a day off when you need to rest, do something kind for yourself, and pick up the following day. In the moments that you feel discouraged, always remember what has pushed you to want to begin this in the first place, and where you have started. You don't want to give up now, so definitely keep going. Guys, I hope that this video helps at least one of you guys. These videos are very personal to me. I've done all of this work, so I'm not somebody that's just telling you to go do this. No, I've done this work for my own life, for my own healing, and I just wish healing on everybody else who's looking for it. I'll see you guys on social media, and until next video, bye, ciao. There's like 11 on the number on the video that it's gonna be the first piece to this video. It's just amazing. Universe, thank you. I am open to receiving, and I am positive and focused.